So, this is a historic deck. For those of you that aren't paying too close attention, there are Thalias and Adanto Vanguards here. But a lot of it is standard legal, because on top of these cards, a lot of the good efficient cards in this format are just standard legal cards. We've got Spellbinder and Skyclave Disruption in addition to Archon of Emeria. We've got a couple Maul the Skyclaves to make our Dorkos hit for a little bit more damage. And then we've got Faceless Haven in the mana base to beat down with. We had a couple of extra spell lands here, so just kind of good, honest beatdowns with a little bit of disruption, and then some cards like Adanto and Selfless Savior that make things like sweepers a little bit worse against us. So let's hop on into a field of Jeskai control and see how our honest white beatdowns can do. On the play with the Thalia, chat. Let's go. Selfless Savior into Thalia. Play a Jeskai Triumph. Yes! Victory! Welcome to the slam, chat. We're here to jam. Crunch. Memory lapse this one. Oh, you can't? What a shame. Roar! I am Thalia Man. I've never seen anyone so happy about a Jeskai Triumph. Driving in my land, beep beep. Well, they have Field of Ruin. Rude. Alright, I mean, if they have Wrath of God, they're still dead. Cometh at me, opponent. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's fine. We're fine. Nobody panic. I have a giant killer. Thalia stops them. Thalia attacks. This is them trying to figure out why they can't cast their spell. Got him. Got him. Don't tell Scotty, chat. Scotty didn't know. Do 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 do. All right, and we'll cut our 4 Skyclaves, and we'll bring in some Reidanes and some Gideons. Put in some rest in peace over these giant killers too. It was beautiful. It really was, Wit. Thanks for the tier 2 and for the 27 months. Welcome back. I had to listen back to this recording and see how well the RTX voice did. There's definitely pieces of machinery driving back and forth outside my window up here. Wonder how good it did at keeping them out. Unfortunately, we are on the draw this game, so they're going to get to memory lapse, Thalia. Can't hear any of that. God bless technology, chat. Sweet. And no one mentioned the chainsaws earlier, so I assume it cut those out too. Glorious. For those of you that are new to the channel, RTX Voice is a piece of software that's responsible for my voice going a little bit crazy when I get pitchy sometimes, but it real time filters background noise out, which is insane. Yeah, the current project we have going on is the... Crisp is different. Crisp is like, you should look up some videos of people futzing around with the RTX voice. Like, you could literally, like, sit here and, like, bang on a bucket with a hammer, and it, generally speaking, doesn't pick it up if you have the settings right. That's some really impressive stuff. That one, get rid of it. Thraben Inspector is a lot better with this card. Do we crack them for 10, or do we play Adanto, draw a card? I think I want to play Adanto, draw a card. No, I think they're gonna anger next turn, I think, is their plan. And Reidane does not make this cost 2 more, because it still has mana value 3, even though it costs 5 from the Spellbinder. I think we do this, and then when they anger, we can crack them to 1 next turn. That was deeply satisfying. That was... That's the good stuff right there, chat. Yort, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you could drop those Bezo bucks off at every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them this way this month. Yes, Thalia stacks with Spellbinder. Reidane stacks with Spellbinder, assuming the base mana value is 4 or more. So if you Spellbinder like a Wrath of God and then play Reidane, the Wrath of God costs 8 while Reidane is in play. Is how it would work. Reidane just only didn't work in that instance because the base mana value of that card is only 3. Yeah, this deck's gonna love Esper Sentinel. Easy 4 of. Flaming Swag, thanks for up in the Prime for the 18th month. Welcome back. Probably Spellbinder before Archon. Lotus Field. Sweet memes are made of these. Blood Sun is a combo piece. Stifle's pretty good too. Alright, so with that, do I Archon to keep them off of Gearhulk next turn? Yeah, but like, so, for example, good for you too. Your response there goes back to my look at the sample sizes of the studies you're looking at. Because I know you probably, I don't know what you think, but like 75 people surrounding one person is not a significant metric, is like the TLDR. I think I'm gonna Archon. If we get like Shadow's Verdict in here, I feel pretty bad, but I think Archon's correct. Like, my general rule of thumb I always tell people that don't have a statistical background is whatever you think is a significant sample size, I don't know, multiply it by 10. And then maybe you're starting to get there.
In exchange for Eternal's defiance has consequence.
I have to play 10 games to know if a deck is good. Oh, Marty. Alright, I'm gonna start saying multiply it by 100. That's what I should say. So, putting Shark Typhoon in the timeout zone here means that it's no longer cyclable, which is great. One of the things, and that's not to say that small studies aren't useful, but what a smaller study does is it doesn't allow you to draw a strong conclusion, but it does allow you to say, okay, there might be something here. We should look into this more with a proper study. Ah! Fuck. Discard spells are so tilting, chat. I mean, it doesn't matter. If I play Thalia pre-combat, I just don't attack into it, and I still can't win. Like, playing Thalia didn't matter because they just do it in response and kill my board, and then they have a 4/4 and a 5/6, and they drew 2 cards. There are certainly some. I really hope the creature decks are pushed enough with Historic Horizons that we can have less Gear Hulks in the format. Gear Hulk Opus is rough. Well, real decks have curves. Not basics entering tapped is so good. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and we'll fire up the creature land next turn. Oh, right. Symmetrical. Wow, who prints symmetrical cards in 2020, chat? What a weird design. Glad I cast the Reidane first instead of this one. Only white gets symmetrical hate cards because it sucks as a color. Yeah, that's basically the truth, huh? Please concede. Holy shit. Oh. Oh no. No. Oh man, lifelink is cheating, chat. I shouldn't have played the Reidane. I should have spacked him with the Faceless Haven that turn. I overextended into a Sweltering Suns and I shouldn't have. Oh, now my Legion has ended. One Maul of the Skyclaves, please. What in the cinnamon toast fuck is this, chat? Our opponent's deck is gas. The old plane-wide celebration? That's sweet. Lock it down. This enters tap, by the way, so we didn't have to get rid of that one. I think I'm happy with how we're boarded. I think. Well. Moist Jund. Can I get one towelette, please? Just a healthy side of Jund with my moist towelette. I can have rips, but like, I don't think I want rips for just Gear Hulks. I'm gonna let chat decide. You got 60 seconds, chat. You got 60 seconds. Look at him go! Look at him go! Let the greed consume you. Imagine spending shillings on this vote. Yeah, I just left the defaults there. Anyone who votes Mulligan is scared. Does this count as outside interference? Is this outside assistance? I'm gonna get my Magic Arena account terminated because of this this Twitch poll. Smooth brain, fastest brain. Alright, let's do it. YOLO Swaggins. I would shout out to the 211 people who believed in us. This second land drop is dedicated to all of you. Medina Funk and Jesse David, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel this morning. Baby! Oh, baby, baby! Baby, baby! Maybe I'm supposed to play this because of Sweltering Suns. Expressive iterations, love it. If you voted Mulligan, you're not allowed to block warriors for the rest of the day, so remember that. Remember that if you go to play Magic Arena. There was so much fear in my dojo, and I am ashamed. Gosh! Is this Sejiri Shelter a spell, chat? I think there's a chance this Sejiri Shelter's a spell. You know, because we hit all of our land drops without it. For the follow, Turtle.
Stand down. Your light will cleave the darkness.
Yeah, Blood Sun turning off our creature lands actually a pretty big deal here. I think we just Archon, right?
No, I don't think so.
Chad is having none of it, shit. None of it. Nailed it. That. I would like to dedicate that game of Magic the Gathering to the 200 of you at home that believed in me and believed in our mono white deck. That's legitimately the first time I've seen Blackblade exile something. He's a pretty good dude. Always believe in you, Jeff. God bless. The real question is, which side did the 18,000 shillings vote for? That is true. $404 preview. Thank you for the follow. Just the goodest boy here on one. I'm supposed to lead Thalia against a bunch of tapped lands. Out of Leap on Arena, when is the historic commander queue coming? August 12th. August 12th. I think with Thalia, we get Luminarch going here. And actually, I think for the purpose of threat diversification, I actually want to stack these counters on the Thraben Inspector here. Well, that's interesting. Well, now I wish I would have put the counter on the Thalia. We're going to put the counter on the Thalia next turn so we can crack them for 3. No third land seems great for us. I think with the lack of a fourth land, I think with the lack of a 4th land here, I'm just going to go double Adanto this turn. So we're attacking for 12 next turn, possibly more with the Faceless Haven. I'm just gonna Spellbinder this turn, put a counter here, and then we'll get going. Yeah, I should have fired this up and crunched with everything. It's close. If they have like a sweeper next turn, they probably die to the Faceless Haven anyways, so... Or whatever the Selfless Savior saves. Show me all secrets. They got some glory bees. None of this really matters, right? The opponent's playing like Mardu dragons. Skyclave seems a little bad against their bigger threats. Deck and Stone seems fine. Chad seems maybe fine. I guess we have a hard time blocking Chad, or protecting Chad with blocks. Let me just leave a couple of Skyclaves in. It's like trade 2 for 2 Deck and Stones, but the rest stay mostly the same. So it's fine. And now, I would like to submit evidence 3472 in the case the people against the shuffler to prove empirically that there is not random because everybody knows clumps are not random, chat. Pup, 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 poker face, pup, pup, poker face. My. It's for the quarter of the year, Zombie Slim Jim. Scotch, unfortunate. We had a non-snow utility land on 1, so now I can't attack with this on 4. Thought seizing our aggro deck twice, feeling okay. Tapped lands and thought seizes. Things you love to see as the aggro deck. I'm gonna diversify my power here a little bit, because I'd wager they probably want to kill the Thalia anyways. Honestly, a Snowland's not a terrible draw here. Although I suppose... Nah, I want to just hit them for 4. I don't really care about this, I don't think. Oh, you know what? I'm probably supposed to put the 1/1 counter on the Faceless Haven there, actually. This archetype is very therapeutic to play. Just good old-fashioned clean beatdowns. Stout Donut, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Firing up the Faceless Haven is better versus a removal spell, so... They have Helix they can stay alive here. They do not. Climbing on up the ladder using white aggro. Ho doo 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 doo. Thalia. Thalia's been a good gal so far. A lot of spell decks in this format. So, Gengar is currently bugged, Old Trusty, and Hex just doesn't work. So, I don't know how his non-Hex move is in terms of competitiveness, but Hex is currently just broken. So, if you're planning to Hex people, don't Gengar at the moment. Yeah, you only ever did Sludge Bomb Hex before. I think I'm going to try out some Talonflame and some Absol today on stream, and maybe some Electric Cat. I feel like I want to learn one of the speedsters. They gave both. They gave Talonflame a huge buff and Absol a small buff. Triome, Wellspring, probably Niv. We finished Uncharted 3 yesterday. Some of the combat at the end got incredibly tedious, but in general, the story was still good, though. The gunplay was a little less than ideal at several points, though. I think Cinderace is still the best jungler by a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if they nerf him again. He's the best damage lead push, whatever you want to call it. Yep. We just crack him for 7 next turn, huh? Get Faceless Haven on a Lightning Helix range here. Nah, fully voice acted is in English is a requirement for me to play games these days. I just don't enjoy games nearly as much that aren't. Yakuza, some of the Yakuza series have almost complete English voices though, right? Hey, thanks for the Prime Acorn. I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you, so thanks for keeping me around. Alright, this is like the control sideboard plan. Four Skyclave out, Reidane, Gideon in. Sounds good. Ship it. I learned the MOBA slang from Unite. No, from Unite. I never played a MOBA before this. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank is great. Both the PS4 and the newest release are excellent. I think Insomniac's probably my favorite game studio at the moment. Both Ratchet and the Spider-Mans are excellent. Just really good pieces of game design in general. Dulrich, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Solid curve here. Inspector's been really impressive alongside Aspirant. Just having this free body that replaces itself later has been phenomenal. From Software is your favorite. Tell me you hate yourself without telling me you hate yourself. Alright, and this is probably a Vanishing Verse, so we'll just play Thalia. Supergiant is very good at what they do. I think my literal only complaint about Supergiant games is that they're short. Other than that, they just like nail almost every aspect of things. We're gonna put a counter on here if we get a trigger. Okay, so now we just Archon to guarantee their lands coming into play tap next turn. So that way we get another turn to pressure before the Moose hits. Oh, man. That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff right there. I'm gonna put a counter on here so these are both out of Clarion range. One giant killer, please. Six is such a big boy. I think we start on Thalia. Probably dead. Well, pumping up one thing isn't really a great choice. Sounds good, Rabbit. Thanks for the 21 months and for hanging out. I appreciate the tier 3. It's very generous of you. Good afternoon. For 26 months, Pino, welcome back. For the record, I don't really have strong opinions on the actual mechanics of combat or the world in FromSoft games. I am just firmly of the opinion that the way in which they intentionally exclude people through the way that they refuse to include features in their games that make them more accessible is shitty game design. The actual combat might be great and the world and flavor might be great, but they've intentionally explicitly made a decision with the way they create their games to exclude people like me from playing them. So I'll never know. And that's fine. That's just, it is what it is. So I won't speak to the parts that I can't get to play or get to see because they've chosen to say, Jeff, you will never be our customer because we don't want you. Because they refuse to make their games accessible. They're just catering to an audience. You're right. They're catering to a group of petty, sweaty, shitty, try-hard gamers that only feel like they enjoy things if they're shitty to certain types of people. Stop it. I just like, for people, just for the record, I'm gonna fucking time anybody out that's anybody that defends their shitty decision-making. Because some people like a challenge. Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Spider-Man, any other fucking modern game. Hades, made by anybody that isn't FromSoft, has incredibly challenging game modes that are satisfying to play for people that want hard games. Those other companies that understand good game design and don't want to be shitty and exclude people just also include easier difficulties. So yeah, people that have been here for a long time, you've heard this before. And the idea that, like, making your game easier for other people removes the challenge at the top end for people that want something hard is so nonsensical. Celeste, another fantastic example. Control, games that have very good difficulty settings that can be very challenging if you want a challenging game, but aren't required to be. I'm putting a counter on here because they could have Deafening Clarion next turn. Well, I guess they technically can't have Clarion. That was actually wrong. All their lands are tapped lands, basically. I should have put one on here. Yeah. I missed a point of damage here. For sure. Maybe I should have fired this up. I guess it would have died to Helix then. FromSoft makes Dark Souls. For people that aren't familiar with the gaming space, FromSoft is the company that makes Dark Souls. Yeah, they don't have, correct. There's one setting that is, and it is brutal, and the people will tell you that you're supposed to suffer and hate yourself to experience the game because they're masochists. And I'm never gonna yuck someone's yum. If you enjoy suffering, more power to you. I am just not a masochist and I don't enjoy suffering. Obviously, we like suffering. Yeah, maybe that's a better way to phrase it. I get enough suffering in my games from Magic the Gathering, so when I play something else, I want the suffering to be minimal. I get all my masochism here out of this. How long have we been on this deck? About 50 minutes. I think my plan is to just chill and play this for another hour, and then we're gonna play some Pokemon. We started this one a little bit early because Standard 22 was kind of a dumpster fire. Yeah, this deck's very, like, just curves and kill people is great. What went wrong with 22? Just a bunch of flood and screw and bad matchups and cards lining up poorly. Best of one Magic is just not something I find super enjoyable. I'm really looking forward to Historic getting an injection of cards so we can focus on this format more. Because I'm pretty over best of 160 card decks. Brawl should be sweet because of strength-based matchmaking and the singleton nature. Best of one there felt pretty reasonable last time, but playing 60 card 4 of constructed try-hard type stuff just, like, isn't fun best of one. That's fine. Indecisive, minimize, and good luck and Godspeed. Mute the stream, all that jazz. We'll see you on the other side. Let's battle. This is... Well, I was about to say this is probably a bad matchup before I drew. It's probably still not a great matchup, but they did mulligan low, which is good for us. Hey, I'm glad you found it useful, Helmet. Yep. Oh, yeah, the black-white version's probably even harder for us than the blue-white version because of things like this. Is Pokemon worth picking up as a filthy casual? I'm gonna let you in on a dirty little secret. I only play games as a filthy casual. Like, I play games for fun. Do I have any money invested into Unite? Yes, I have spent $130 on Pokemon Unite. Just because I play games for fun doesn't mean I don't spend money on them. Or, yes, or as I like to call it, approximately one Ragavan. So, I'd actually like, so I don't think this was necessarily your intention, Skoggle, but what you said there actually comes across as one, super condescending, and two, shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how the gaming space works in the industry. The idea that Pokemon games are explicitly more casual than other games is silly, and casual players make up the significant portion of the player base for basically every game that exists. So singling out Pokemon is condescending, and you should be aware that this is just how the games industry works in general. Pokemon Unite is a Pokemon MOBA. It is a team game where you pick a Pokemon in battle. You should just hang out. We're gonna play Magic for another hour. We're gonna play Pokemon Unite for a couple hours at the end of the stream. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Pokemon's casual accessible, which most successful IPs are casual accessible. Alright, well, we've got another one of these to send to the cat into exile. And then we could pressure in the air here a little bit. Do we have lethal next turn with the Maul? So this is 11. Are we gonna be one short? We're gonna be one short next turn in the air. League of Legends and Magic are the opposite of casually accessible. No, completely disagree. You're just so caught up in how you play Magic, you don't remember that casual Magic exists. Casual Magic is the driving force behind Magic the Gathering, and is the reason the game has survived for the 2.5, almost 3 decades it's existed. Competitive Magic is a blip, which is why the MPL could be the abject failure that it was, and it's not a big deal, and it didn't hurt Magic. An removal spell? Fuck. That's so good. Yeah, I think we're dead here. The opponent mulliganed to like 5 this game too. Their deck is just very, very good against what we have going on. This is our first creature-based kind of pseudo-mirror. We got some Baffling Ends and some Deccan Stones here. Trim. Gosh, should I trim Thalia? She does make their auras cost. I don't have that many non-creature spells. Maybe it's just Adanto Vanguard because it doesn't attack in very good. Yeah, the opponent's deck definitely cares about having the right cards rather than having more cards. I want like one Rest in Peace, maybe two. They do have a lot of things that escape from the graveyard on top of Luris. I want to trim to fit in these rips. Maybe it is just a couple Thalias. Does deck stand a chance against other creature decks? Yeah, definitely. I think being on the play is a big part of it. Like, even that game, right? Like, I was 1 damage off of being able to play my Maul and kill them. Elite Spellbinder being an evasive threat that has 3 power feels like it has a lot of value in a matchup like this, which is why I'm leaving it in. We're bringing in some extra ways to interact with them, so if we can kill their couple of things and then kill them in the air, I think is the game plan. So, Selfless Savior is important for curve purposes. It also lets us block inside of combat, and block plus sacrifice it to fog, block plus sacrificing it allows us to fog a lifelink for a turn, which is a big deal. I also don't think any of the cards in our sideboard right now are particularly great. Like, maybe Thalia. Like, maybe we split Thalia Dog 3/3, but having a 1-drop on one has a lot of value. Vomit. Yeah, and this is, honestly, like I said, the black-white Auras deck is better against us in the blue-white version because of all of these removal spells that they play. Very, very strong against what we have going on. I was just supposed to deck this. I don't know. Feels kind of helpless for sure. Our deck's also kind of biased in a way towards these non-creature matches. In fact, maybe my sideboard needs adjusting to put more removal in it. Yeah, we'll pack it up, pack it in. Let's take a peek at our sideboard. Maybe raise up this lot of Baffling Ends. Our deck definitely is biased towards beating the control decks, which I think makes a lot of sense in the current format. You know, we played control matchups in the 3 matches prior to that one, or 4 matches prior to that one. Skyclave Apparition is one of the many cards that's just high variance in best of 1. It's a card that's excellent into certain matchups, and it's unplayable into others. And if you're willing to play best of 1 as a format, you have to accept that you're going to frequently have cards that just don't work. Yeah, I think the matchup's really bad for us, FGC. Especially the Black Splash and the Auras. Beats us up really solidly. Can't think of anywhere I want Hushbringer. In fact, maybe I'll keep the Containment Priest for Collected Company decks. Alright, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. BRB 1 second. Sedge. Stab Peep. dies. Very good. I bet Goblins is hard for us too. I did leave my 3 Containment Priests on the board. So we got that going for us. My body is ready to get turn 3 Muxist. I don't even know that Containment Priest helps this matchup enough, because, like, Muxus just existing on the board, unless the rest of their board is empty, is, like, still pretty good against us. Let's try this, I guess, but I'd wager this is another matchup that's very bad for us. Doke. Authority of the Councils is a great sideboard card against them. Great feels like a stretch. Playable is mostly accurate. Yeah, Goblins is not super popular in Historic. I think having a bad matchup against this is, like, more than fine. Alright, we got a couple of removal spells here. I believe all of Historic Horizons are up. Either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to work on a top 10 Historic Horizons cards video. People that are interested in more full reviews, I've got those up on the YouTube channel already. What's going on, Covern? Thanks for the 34 months. Thank you for the very generous tier 3. I'd like to take this one down. Not good. More removal spells seem pretty reasonable there. I think I want the last Baffling End on the draw. Adanto. Luminarch Aspirant is just so good. Yeah, that was the easy one where we were on the play and had a solid curve. Now we gotta try and win one on the draw. Common Tireless Tracker. Like actual Tireless Tracker, or are you talking about the one that makes food and treasures and not clues? Why does it get the card's activated abilities, chat? Why does it get the card's activated abilities? Oh. Come on, give me some more of the control decks we were feasting on. More turn 1 triomes, please. Every time I've cast Snoop, it's mounted on top of my deck. Big mood. Rash, thanks for the follow. Good morning. This isn't amazing, but I think it's the low end of keepable. Might just like crack Clue and then play Maul on 3. Yeah, our level 3 ranger classes on this stream are really not good. Sweet. Second white, let's just do this. We have our creature land on 3, so we can gear it up to attack on 4 to keep the pressure on without extending into a sweeper. So we're at 14. We effectively have 9 power in play. Well, they haven't slammed a Languish. That bodes well for us. JKMN, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. Morning, good morning. There is a set review already on YouTube. We were doing daily card review as things were spoiled. I'm intending to do a top 10 cards video before the set releases next week. I'll probably put that up over the weekend to put some Magic content on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. These were our spoiling in real time playlist. Yep. Honestly, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do it, Lambton. I might take a peek at the set and just do like a top 5 of each color, maybe. List 25 cards that are decent, because we definitely have like 5 decent cards of each color in the set. That way, depending on what people want to play, they have a range of things to look at to craft based on my opinion. Maybe we'll do that. More videos is more YouTube clicks too, which is good value. We're pretty lucky this game. We've drawn a spell every turn for the last two turns now. I mean, card's really good. If I could choose to put it on the top or the bottom, I'd choose to put it on top. Definitely better than our average card. Got him. That'll do, pig. Game 3 on the plate, please. Submit. Hey, he needs a 3rd land. My body is ready. Oh, I get to play this before I get memory lapsed, actually. I was like, we're gonna get memory lapsed and never draw a 3rd land. We get to play this before that happens, so that's exciting. I even Thoughtseize against me? Brutal. Alright, so let's draw a 2-drop into a 3rd land. So, Adanto Vanguard, please. Just do nothing this turn. Need to play out my 1-2. My body is ready to only draw 3 mana spells. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Memory lapse. Are we having fun yet, chat? And just, for those of you that enjoy getting memory lapsed, I know there's many of you out there, you should remember that the Challenger Gauntlet's happening this weekend, and it is 42% almost Jeskai control. So, you know, enjoy. Are there any other decks in there playing Memory Labs? Dragonstorm definitely is. What's the Challenger Gauntlet again? You've never heard of it. Don't worry about it. It's canceled for next year. The Challenger Gauntlet decides who makes it into the MPL for next year, but the MPL is dead after next year. So they get to play some tournaments to be qualified for some Pro Tours, but then it doesn't exist any longer. But you don't understand, Hyde. Even though most of the professional players are registering Jeskai Control, Jeskai Control only has a 50.2% win rate on the ladder. And everybody knows that the ladder is a better representation of what's competitively viable than a tournament with some of the best players in the world.
You had some dead things that needed to stay dead?
Well, that's gonna be a distraction, Planeswalker.
I had guild business to attend to anyway.
And then if you haven't used Untap before, just to kind of show how it translates. Today alone on MTGA, they've had Jeskai controls, but 18.5% of the ladder matches played with stuff that they've collected, and they've been averaging a 58% win rate. What even tracks popularity over time? This site's so good. So, a little bit less popular than you see in something like the Challenger Gauntlet, but still incredibly popular. I think Archmage's Charm slots into Jeskai decks. I mean, I think it certainly tries to slot in. Well, that's a 7/7.
I'm gone for now, but not forever.
Hey, Kaya has killed my 2/1/1s. You got me. I mean, anecdotal is much worse than just like running a bunch of simulations you can do pretty quickly, or like doing a hypergeometric distribution calculation. My question to you would be how many what's it called, blue sources are in your deck?
No time for a break.
All right, is their last card a Vanishing Verse? $22 blues, probably plenty. I think I gotta kill Teferi here.
How long do you want to wait for?
That hurts. My entire life is anecdotal. You're not wrong. Treasures help too. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Although I imagine you probably gotta give up some of the commands in order to fit stuff like that in. Night. More control decks, please. Feed me. Please feed me all the control decks. Yeehaw. We are actually XO against control decks. We've died to 2 creature decks, but we're like 4-0 or 5-0 against control so far this set. Control decks feeding you more than solo queue Frokies on the bottom lane. Yeah. Well, at least their Frokie was smart enough to be in the lane instead of in the jungle. Jungle Frokies seemed real bad every time I played with it. Is an Anger hard for this deck to beat? No, not at all. You have Elite Spellbinder and Thalia to slow that down. You have Adanto Vanguard as well as Good Boy as well. We've beaten a ton of sweepers. We've beaten the gauntlet of sweepers. We've beaten Wrath of Gods and Angers and all sorts of other things. We've beaten Magma Opuses. Like this curve, right? Like imagine casting Anger of the Gods. You're paying 3 mana to kill my 1/1. Good luck, Godspeed. Where is my card advantage? When I kill my opponent while they still have 6 cards in hand, it's technically a 6-for-1. Excuse me? I guess we'll take Mizzix Mastery. How does it compare with something like blue-white auras? I don't know, actually. It's a very reasonable question, though. Yeah, I mean, I assume they were wanting to put Primal Tide back into their deck with Fire Prophecy, and they just got. Yes, this card pushing things out of range of Sweltering Suns is great. I've decided for the time being I am not doing Unite with Viewers anymore. It just leads to way too much downtime. So I'm still grouping up with folks, especially in the evenings, doing ranked stuff here and there most nights, but when I'm playing on stream live, I want to try and mitigate the downtime that we have. Oh, I could have drawn Aspirant to kill them there, right? I should have drawn before I attacked. So, the reason why Arena hides all the Foretell cards is because if they have 2 different Foretell cards, you technically don't know which one they hid. So in this particular instance, you're right, it hid an Epiphany that we know is still there deterministically. But in general, that's not the case, right? Like, frequently it's going to be hiding something that you're not sure which one they foretold. Reidane and Containment Priest both seem excellent here. Yeah, they could have technically drawn another one too, right? It could have been not an Aldrin's Epiphany over there. It's like, if we were playing paper, I probably wouldn't scratch Epiphany off of the hand I'd written down, but technically. It's crazy to cut Maul the Skyclaves here, just like pull the curve down a touch. They don't really have blockers, right? Cut Vanguard? No, Vanguard's absurd in this matchup. They have a ton of red removal and sweepers post board. It's very, very good. Your green-white scales aspirant deck is worth exploring? Definitely. 100%. You never cut Vanguard in the non-creature matchups. On the draw and the creature matchups where they're likely to block it, trimming it's probably fine. Keeping Bezos out of low orbit as long as I can. Thanks for the 16 months, Dead DC. The Dead Sea? The Dead Sea. I get it now. I get it. Playing. That is, honestly, after the auto tapper, the #1 thing I miss when playing Magic Online compared to Arena is how Arena handles revealed cards. Magic Online is so tedious and cumbersome with it. Nailed it. Fun fact, chat. The flavor text on Archon of Emeria makes Dwarven Mine not work because Archon says they all enter tapped, and this only makes a dwarf if it enters untapped. One of those kind of cheeky interactions. Yeah, the templating on this is very silly. I would like to bind your spells. All of your spells are bound to me. To me! Actually really love the sound design in Arena. They do an excellent job with it. If anything, my only complaint about the sound design in Arena is I wish there was more of it. One of the things Legends of Runeterra does better than any other card game is how the board feels alive because the cards talk to each other. And I think it would be total gasoline if Arena did that. Be sick. Oh, Archon does turn off Mastery. Good call. Haven has Vigilance, so I get to attack here and still hold up Containment Priest. Oh no! Don't Mizzix Mastery the Magma Opus. How will I ever win the game if you do that? Haha! Opponent, you've activated my trap card! Goodbye, friends. Lady Gaga is no more, chat. Rah, rah, oh la la. Containment Priest now. Goodbye, Elish. I'm telling you, chat, if you don't have just a good old-fashioned beatdown deck in your deck selection in Magic Arena, I'd highly recommend making one. They're just super therapeutic. Just good old-fashioned, play some curves, couple of disruptive things. You love it. Good, clean fun. Press the space and smash. Honestly, if you have this archetype built for standard, you have most of these cards. You have to craft what, like Adanto Vanguards and Thalias? This is an uncommon. This is a common. Teamer ramp, you say? Oh, they're probably playing it with Omniscience. It's like, what card combos with Lich in this format? Omniscience is the answer. Thankfully for us, and unfortunately for Angry Ian, our creatures combo with their face. Solid 1-2 combo here. Alright, ramp deck. Sideboarding with this deck's been super clean and easy too. Play one more green card for my daily quest. Yeah, basically. Huh? I keep this. I think if we don't draw an untapped land on one, we'll play a tapped land. Well, that's a heck of a start. We're definitely the bad guy here, chat. Definitely the bad guy. I'm the bad man. They've played Epiphany, we're no longer the bad guy. Mood. Big mood. Hey, but I just probably hit the rank floor trying to do something sweet. We just show up with our little curve and shove them in a box in the ground. Good night. So long, farewell, attack you, and good day. Get you after the game. Get you after the game, Lan. I'll just get Thalia down to start. That could be a food deck. We'll keep them off of. Oh, Angry Land was the last opponent. That one's got to go. Alright, can the opponent draw lands? So far, survey says no. Yes, the Visionaries do mean they are a Citadel deck. Work tomorrow, then a draft in the evening. Then when I get home, I'm going to watch Uncharted 4 Part 1. Friday it goes up. Thank you for the 2 years, Pickle Boss. And thanks for enjoying all the stuff. It's good to have you here. Mayhem Devil seems like it would end this board's whole career. You are not wrong. Do people really play Coco and Citadel in the same deck? Yep. Some of them play Corvold as well. They're super greedy. Gonna get a bunch of removal here. Thanks for the follow, Futurist. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you're at. Good evening, maybe, in some parts of the world. Yeah, seems sweet. You had a version of Mono Green and Historic that had Company and Henge and had 19 hits. Some peak Magic the Gathering right there. Should have played around it, champ. Should have played around it. I'm gonna Baffling End plus Selfless Savior this turn, because I'd rather put like a Priest or something smaller under this than only get a 2-2 instead of a 3-3 back when it eventually dies. I mean, 26 hits is super greedy. You also have to consider, like, some of those hits are things like Gilded Goose and Prosperous Innkeeper, which aren't particularly good hits. So, like, when you look at these Company sack decks, they really don't have that many good hits for Company. People just look at raw creature count, and they just act like that's the only thing that matters, when really there's a lot more to it than that. Robo Reidane, thank you for the sub-gift. We haven't played this one for almost 2 hours, actually. It's been a little bit rough against other decks playing creatures, but we actually haven't lost a game to a match to a control deck. We've been absolutely dumpstering them. Like, I think we're probably dead to this, for example, right? Because it's just like out of Skyclave range. Maybe the Baffling End of the sideboard should be a mix of Deck and Stones, too. Yeah, there must have been a content producer, or, oh, I forgot the Deck and Stones, speaking of. There must have been a content producer or someone that posted a video with, oh, I put Rest in Peace in instead of the Deck and Stones. That was my mistake. I clicked on the wrong card. We played against someone on this deck list the other day, and they commented on the YouTube video after saying they copied the deck list from somewhere, so that doesn't surprise me. Working on my Shillionaire. Thanks for the biddies, Regan. And for the sub gift. Is this good enough? I think so. It really wants a third land. That's pretty decent otherwise. Nel Trono, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I think I'd rather just play this as a tap land to guarantee a 3-drop next turn than to gamble with the clue. Innkeeper is such a solid upgrade for the opponent's archetype. Well, shit. Yeah, I guess I should have just decked in Stone. Well, I guess they were casting Collected Company next turn regardless anyways, right? Whew. I guess we just, like, hope their company's bad. Try and get one more decent match in. I don't know if there's anything we could do to fix the creature matchups of this deck. This is probably just a metagamey deck. Yeah. Creature matchups have felt rough. The keep at 6 was not particularly great. Having this as our 1-drop is not super exciting. Well, we're no longer clueless. Wonder if the opponent's also playing an aggro deck if we're doing something mid-rangey. Yeah, if only Thraben Inspector had been in our opener, we'd have been able to crack the clue this turn. Probably something of a mirror. Yeah, I gotta imagine this deck is great into Phoenix. Definitely feels good into Jeskai. The Skyclave costs 5 here, so it takes him a little while to get to. I mean, I know they have another Thalia, but I think I'm still pretty happy to trade one of these two for the first Thalia. I'm just playing solos today or playing with Christy Twin Twin. I'll be looking to play ranked stuff in the evenings again, but the last couple of streams we just had too much downtime trying to get grouped with subs. And too much downtime is just bad content. We're looking for people generally in Veteran these days. As we've moved up, Christy and I are both pushing towards Ultra, and we're occasionally grouping with people in Masters. That might be bad, actually. Oh. Well, I will happily trade my dog for your 3-1 deal. There is nothing in Pokemon Unite that is locked behind the premium currency. It's a very typical freemium model of you can grind your stuff out or you can pay to accelerate. If you go into the subscriber Discord server, there is a Pokemon Unite channel, and there is a pinned Google Doc in that channel that has my friend code, Christy's friend code, and a bunch of other people in Hoaglandia. This trade seems loose here. I get a 3-3 out of this. I feel like the opponent hasn't managed combat steps particularly well this game. It's a little risky building this up, but I do feel like I just need another blocker here. I don't like get this big enough to block, and then we can start attacking with this. Yeah, this is the downside. We're gonna play our own Thalia, and this Maul's just like never getting cast. Ooh, Castle's a big... Castle is big game. Another one of these is decent. Well, if it makes you feel better, Wind Magus, I'm almost veteran 5, and I had an AFK player in 2 of my ranked matches last night, so that doesn't really get better. They exist everywhere. I'm gonna make this big enough to block 2/2s. And then we'll start stacking up on this. Maul, the Skyclave seems nice and balanced at 7. Yep, big mood. We're almost there, working our way up. We'll start stacking up on this token now, so that way we can maul it and fly over at some point. I think we're at a point where I start abyssing them with this. Or pushing damage. Either seems good for us. Why is it 7? There are 2 Thalias in play. And it got Elite Spellbinder. Alright, and that extra blocker gives me a good bit of time now. I don't know, I think there's a chance the opponent remembered the dog and was just okay trading for it. Reach your land, love it. Yes, this is the OG Thalia art. Yep. Do-do-do-do-do-do. We did it, chat. We have assembled the Maul. Tron activated. Crunch. Okay. Yep. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. This can make combat break our way nicely. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? Combat was going to break our way. Once upon a dream. I am with my base as usual, but loving the 22 content, even if it's missing something. Did you say sideboard? Big mood. I think I just do this and get more blockers here, because this game's probably ending in the air before this can matter a whole lot. Do you think they have another one in hand? Quite possibly. Honestly, one of the changes, I was talking about, you know, this deck versus creature decks and how we're struggling a little bit. The thing we might want to do different against creature decks with this is, I wonder if we're just supposed to have 4 Mauls. Because Maul's definitely, like, the best thing we could be doing against creatures in this deck. To just let you jump up over the top of gummed up board states. One more brick. Well, they don't kill us with it all in, right? I want to be able to activate Faceless Haven. Please concede. Shadow Spear, maybe? I don't know. Our creatures aren't individually very large a lot of the time. Like, I know in this instance, I had a Luminarch out for multiple turns, but that's kind of the exception, not the rule. Is that lethal? What a crazy game. I'm not dead yet. So now we're both under the abyss. I don't think I'm supposed to pay life here, right? Because they have so many 1/1s. So they're gonna have. So they have to re-equip on something, otherwise they die. And then they have 7 blockers. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attackers. So my weakest 2 get through. Which means if I can put them to 1 on the backswing. So that's not enough. Big sad. Right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, so I can't equip the Maul to here and fire up both of these. Is the problem. I think I just let this time. Top deck hero. Boo doo 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 doo. Dunk. Bonk. I'm a little bonk on the head there. Alright, Thalia's out. Baffling Ends in. Deccan Stones in. That was sweet. Like, those types of games are really serve to highlight why I love Magic's combat system and decks that care about combat. Like, the number of small decisions and counting there were like going back and forth to figure out, all right, like, can I attack? Are we just chipping away with this? Like, where are we supposed to be pushing? A lot of small choices to make in there. Like, where the counters were going with Aspirant every turn, etc. and why. This looks good. I think Reidane's marginally better than this. Her backside can let us win in combat and is good against her castle tokens on occasion too, which seems good. Infinitely more interesting than which spell do I want to get memory lapse this turn. We might get run over here. Vanguard into Maul's a pretty quick clock, though. I think with the Paladin class in play, I'm happy to get that trade there. No. Oh no! The flavor text, chat! The flavor text! Oh no! Seta Taft, thank you for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Chat, it's just a fucking massacre. Is there like a mercy rule I can call? Can I like tap out or something? I feel like I need to invoke a mercy rule of some sort. I'm gonna maul the Selfless Savior here, which makes it less appealing for them to counter the Aspirant, so that hopefully they counter this and we can Giant Killer it. Damn. Okay, we're just too far behind at this point. Being on the draw. Plus Reidane tapping all of our lands is just way too much there. Plus the Deccan Stone. The Deccan Stone too. The Deccan Stone, like, taking our things off the board. Gave us cards back, but the lack of board presence it took away from us was just so huge. If we actually keep the takedown over the Deccan Stone here, I could get a little greedy and bottom a land. I'll let the greed flow through us. Sure, they'll follow my Thras. I'd intended for this to be a last short game before we started Pokemon Uniting. That first game was so long. This is pretty punishing for bottoming the land. Okay, nice. Ourselves a 3/3, attack for 1. Alright, well, we're not beating that one if it happens, so I think we just get rid of it. Nice. Think of Portable Hole versus the food decks. The fact that it doesn't hit, what's it called? It doesn't hit their Mayhem Devil seems real bad. Yeah, I guess it gets Oven and Cat. I don't know. They also, like, just destroy it and get their thing back. Like, a card like Baffling End is really good, for instance, because when they kill it, they don't get their thing back. You run into any Bard class today? No, that card's not very popular in Historic, because it's not very good. Yes, Baffling End and Skyclave are both good for the same reasons. When your opponent gets their thing back, they get a different thing. Chop it down. Are you dead yet? The game continues. Alright, what's your last one? Goodbye, friend. 3 lands, no problem, champ. Alright, they gotta crack this clue. Oh, they have Cave of the Frost Dragon. I was like, why didn't they crack the clue? The cave. Got it. Alright. So, I tried to draw a land so that way we could have Deccan Stone for this, but Giant Killer is an effective removal spell, right? So, they are now dead on board. Sweet set. Good game. Like it. Alright, so I feel like after playing that set, I would probably play some more Maul, I think. I don't know that I main deck them, but perhaps in the sideboard, in the creature matchups, this card is just absurd. It's like anything from Jumpstart Historic Horizons. Yeah, Esper Sentinel is potentially very good. Would be a card worth testing. Maybe you like put Archon on the board or get rid of it altogether to pull your curve down and have more 1-drops. There's also a chance that a deck like this just looks a little bit different in Jumpstart Historic Horizons because we're getting what's the word I'm searching for? We're getting Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, you could just be a more humans focused deck. You could while it's obviously a little bit worse than Selfless Savior in some spots, it's also a 2-power 1-drop. So you could, like, play Esper Sentinel and Dauntless Bodyguard as 1-mana creatures, and then play Thalia's Lieutenant, and then, like, you cut these, and maybe a Adanto Vanguard. You probably play this even though it's not a human, because it's just really good. But, like, yeah, something along those lines, too. Like, being just, like, mono-white human aggro is probably pretty appealing. Yes, Thalia's Lieutenant pumps Esper Sentinel as well, which is sweet. Alright, at any rate, that's it for Magic stuff for me for this afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing, I think we're going to try Pioneer tomorrow. I had a donation for Pioneer deck. We're going to play Bring to Niven Pioneer for the Moto segment tomorrow. And then we're going to do some more Historic on Magic Arena. And then we're going to be starting Uncharted 4 tomorrow afternoon. But this afternoon, we're going to be engaging in my latest addiction, which is Pokemon Unite. So I'm going to get the Switch fired up, and we're going to battle some mons.